Dear all, good morning. I am Ms. Noble A. Palith, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sacred Heart College for Women, Chalagudi. It is with much contentment and satisfaction that I am before you today. The topic of discussion for the day, the origins of writing, is the last and final subject matter that is included under Module 1 of Language and Linguistics paper. The two forms, or modes, or manifestations of human communication are indispensable entities in understanding the history of human existence since times immemorial. The learning objective of today's session is an attempt to trace the trajectory of the origin, growth, and development of writing. The origins of writing can be considered as a watershed in the history of human civilization. Now, let's try to understand more about the topic. The earliest form of writing is that of the Sumerian civilization of 3300 BC. Out of it developed the cuneiform writing. The ancient Egyptians further developed on the cuneiform model. The West Semitic people adopted the ancient Egyptian model. The Greeks took over the Semitic pattern. All later systems of writing are said to have evolved from the Greeks. So, this is the brief skeletal framework of the different stages and phases in the origin, growth, and development of writing. Dear students, for ease of understanding, for better comprehensibility, just try to register in your mind, just try to memorize 5 different models that played a key role in the growth of writing. First one, the Sumerian model. Second one, the cuneiform model. Third one, the ancient Egyptian model. Fourth one, the West Semitic model. And fifth one, the Greek model. Now, let's try to delve deep into the details of the defining characteristics of each and every model. The earliest form of writing is the Sumerian model. It was originally pictographic or ideographic or logographic. Pictures represented messages. Pictorial symbols represented messages. Now, in pictographic or ideographic writing, each sign meant an object, an idea, or a thing. In Sumerian writing, 4 semicircles and the pick of the ox's head was considered as 4 oxen. Similarly, the sheep, the bird, the sun, and the moon were all represented using pictorial symbols. Gradually, pictorial symbols underwent an extension of meaning. For example, the sun, apart from signifying the idea for which it stands for, it also came to refer to ideas like time, day, brightness, etc. The Sumerian word tai acquired two different meanings. It meant both arrow and life. Now, both these words were represented by an arrow symbol in the script. Gradually, the arrow symbol came to be used for the word tai, and it also was used for the syllable tai in longer words. In this way, word symbols developed into syllable symbols. Thus, the Sumerian writing was a mix of pictograms or ideograms or logograms, word symbols and syllable symbols. In Sumerian writing, each sign stood for a word. So we can say that Sumerian writing was logographic in nature. Now, out of the Sumerian writing developed the cuneiform writing, which was used for Akkadian languages. Akkadian languages means languages used by the ancient Babylonians and Assyrians. Now, the cuneiform writing was syllabic in nature. Each sign stood for a syllable. So, the cuneiform writing can be considered as a refinement upon, an advancement upon the Sumerian writing or the Sumerian pictography and logography. The ancient Egyptians also used syllabic writing system. The ancient Egyptian model contained 24 symbols or signs. An interesting thing about the ancient Egyptian model is that it never used vowels. Vowels were not indicated in ancient Egyptian writing. Most of the signs stood for a group of two consonants, and any vowel as needed went along with it. But there were 24 symbols which stood for just one consonant plus any vowel. And this syllabic system of writing with a set of 24 symbols of the ancient Egyptians was adopted by the West Semitic people living around the eastern shores of the Mediterranean. And the Greeks took over the Semitic alphabet. And all later alphabetic systems are said to have evolved from the Greeks. So, the topic of the day, the origins of writing, can be said to be a documentation of a long journey, a prolonged journey from the original pictographic writing to the present day true alphabetic system of writing. To conclude, a brief expression of gratitude to our ancestors who preserved a permanent record of their modes of thought processes through writing. It's only because of that I am here to teach you this content and you are here right in front of me as my viewers and listeners. Otherwise, learning would have remained in the hands of a few, the chosen few. Otherwise, learning would have been the prerogative, the special right, the privilege of a few members of the elite classes. So, here is the end. Until we meet again in the next video, thank you and stay tuned.